What up, y'all? So I got an interesting one for y'all today. Today, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna talk about 16 tires best drivers. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be ranking the best drivers from S tier all the way down to D tier. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, about best driver, we're talking about like distractibility, paying attention to the road, also being a safe and responsible driver. Just to kind of define what I want to base everything off of, I think, in a way. But I guess you gotta know what a good driver, what it kind of means to be a good driver. I guess I don't really that going that too much, but anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. But yeah. So first one we got up, ENFJs. So ENFJs make good drivers. To be honest with you, ENFJs they don't make the best drivers necessarily. Being that they are intuitives, they can be kind of distractible and things like that. Or easily distracted. Maybe by our ideas and thoughts and things like that. As far as landing in the road, maybe I'll be best suited when you talk about their function stack. Yeah, because like they are very emotional. I think when it comes to driving, EFJs to be emotional drivers, meaning that uh, some of the things they might do may not always line up with logic. As far as driving, um, and you know, I mean, that's I can put it right now, but I do know like ENFJ may not have the best drive has in general, just because of the way their function stack is set up. Honestly, not trying to be mean, ENFJ, but I will put y'all D tier for this one. Drive not necessarily their strong suit, I say. Now we got ENFPs. ENFPs, I think they have the moments where they are pretty good drivers. I think a lot of times can depend on their mood. Now, I think if ENFPs are in bad mood, they can be distracted by their own thoughts and ideas when driving. But when they're in a good mood, they can be pretty decent drivers, actually. Pretty good drivers. Honestly, they kind of go down the middle. Um, Maybe like easier. Sounds about right. All right. So next we got ENTJs. ENTJs, actually, ENTJs aren't bad drivers. They can be pretty responsible drivers. They got this mindset where they like to be in charge, and I think when it comes to driving, they can take it on their responsibility to make sure that everybody's safe in the car and things like that. Just as them thinking as a leader, and then they be some pretty. They actually can be easily aware on the road, things like that. Even though they are in our users, some about that TE and that SE can help, and they're not ocean drive like ENFJs. They can be very rational and things like that. Things that could hold them back more than extra is maybe they can get distracted by their thoughts here and there, uh, and things like that. For their ideas, maybe they could zone out here and there, but like honestly, I'm debating whether I would put on A tier or B tier. I'm thinking B tier with the ENFP, but I could change my mind, let them put them A. I don't think, man, maybe they're not quite the A tier. Yeah, I don't think so. We got ECPs. ECPs, I think they can be somewhat aware on the road. I'm just thinking about how the function steps could play into it. Could be distracted by some ideas floating around their heads, things like that. However, but introvert thinking can help. Introvert they can help with uh, operating machinery, things of that nature. ENTPs, they're bouncing around all the time with a bunch of ideas. That could lead to a little bit of distractibility on the road. They could miss an exit here or there. Um, I think ENFPs are a little bit better drive than ENTPs. I know they may not make a little bit of sense. That may not make a whole lot of sense. I'm thinking maybe C. I don't know. They could go a little higher, honestly. Sometimes it's a little hard to do because I haven't really like go through all 16 to think about how good the driver. I can be a little. I'm kind of just guessing because I haven't necessarily experienced every single driver because I sound like I've been driven around by like every single type to my knowledge. But based on what I know about my type, I'm just going off of that. A lot of these are hit and miss. I'm gonna tell you that right now, but ESFJs, pretty responsible people in general. Um, I think when it comes to driving, they can pretty good at it. As far as being able to have pretty good awareness about the road and things like that, and being focused on safety and things of that nature. They could also take on the responsibility to make sure everybody's safe in the car. I know I said that about ENTJ, but for ESFJs, it can be slightly different. They got a little bit more caretaker vibe, and extrovert feeling is a function that makes sure we want to take care and make sure everybody's good. Introvert assessing is in the precious moment. I know people tend to refer to introvert assessing as being like a function where it's focused on the past and things like that, and but really, introvert sensing is also very present focused as well. Not know so much as like extrovert sensing, but it's pretty present focused. I will say they go A tier, pretty much. Yeah, they go A tier. So let's see, ESFPs. I'll tell you right now, ESFPs, every single ESFP I've ever known, and I know a lot of ESFPs, every single one of them I've ever known, they all drive really fast. I don't know what it is. It's not ESFP, they say I'm a lady like people, but when you get them called down, they drive really fast. It's insane. Um, and they have very, very control over the vehicle. Like, yeah, wait, let's drive really fast. If you're not used to it, they can scare you. Either they drive really fast or they do things when they drive that seem kind of risky, but they're in more control than what you think they are in. Uh, like it's just days that seem like pretty risky. Like I have people like ESFPs drive around them being phone. I'm not talking about like an old like people look at their phone. They'll be on their phone like full of distract. Seem like they full of distracted. Like they multitask while they driving, all kinds of stuff. They drive like let's say stereotypically that drive they like putting their makeup on while they in the mirror while they drive type thing. Um, I think they be good. Like when it comes to control in the vehicle, having precise control and being suitable aware, they got that down pat. But the only thing is they do risky things while they're driving. That can hold them back from being like S tier. But I'm gonna put on A tier. Only thing is they do risky things while driving, which could lead to accidents. I didn't really put them for the ESFJ, but I guess I don't. I wouldn't say they're in front of the ESFJ. It is kind of neck and neck. Like ESFJ is super safe with it. ESFP just a little reckless with it, you know. But well, it seems reckless, but they have control what you think they do. However, it's risky. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, the ESTJs. I want to say the ESTJs are pretty responsible drivers. Um, Also logical. They're very logical drivers. I think they can make driver citizens on the road. I want to say they go with top A tier. Wait, there we go. They go top A tier. Pretty much a responsible drivers. You know, yeah, I think that's fair right now. ESTP. Now, what I will say about ESTPs is they make pretty good drivers, but I think they need the best race car drivers. You would talk about race car drivers, they probably make up the most of them. If they were to do a poll, and I would watch NASCAR and things like that, but I'm just going on my knowledge of the type. They did some type of poll, I'm pretty sure ESTP probably will be make up a lot of race car drivers. Just the whole being able to operate machine everything, it fit well with the STP. Whenever the ESTP and SC downs, that fast paced sort of environment as far as race car driving, they will excel at it pretty well. But in general, I think they go S tier. Most specifically as far as race car driver, they make it better, but it can also translate to being good drops in general. Okay, INFJs. INFJs, my INFJ are the best drivers, honestly, because they're a little indecisive. I think they get stuck between making certain decisions on the road and might make freeze up and stuff like that. Now, does it mean, I don't know if they would actually necessarily get in a bunch of accidents. I think, I don't know. Maybe they might get, I don't know. I don't say that. It's just I don't think they necessarily would make the best drivers, honestly. Other things are our best to be good at, for sure. But I don't think drivers love, they kind of line up with ENFJ, honestly. Even though they're a little bit, they're better drivers than ENFJ, so I'll tell you that. I also can go as C tier. But yeah, INFJ is not the best. INFPs, also, I don't think they would make the best drivers as well. Kind of like the ENFP, it could depend on their mood a little bit. However, ENFPs, I think ENFPs are a little bit better drivers than INFPs. I think they also could go D tier, honestly, next to the INFJ. Now, they could go C tier, well, INFJ and INFP. I'm debating on putting them both C tier. Honestly, I don't put them C tier. I think they both. That's actually tough, honestly. Yeah, they go C tier. Because they are like really, really bad. I mean, ENFJ, I think maybe they're the worst out of. I ain't like to say. But INFJ and I really, they're not horrible drivers. And INFP too. They're not horrible drivers, but yeah. INTJ. INTJs, I think they could distract drive pretty easily. By their thoughts and things like that, they can delve even to their thoughts, internal thoughts, and I'm not going to say imagination, but they feel like calling an introverted thinking, introverted intuition, imagination, simplifies a little bit. My mic is still up, but anyway, INTJs. This was kind of tough. I think they go C2. Honestly, I won't put there like C tier, but okay, INTPs. INTP, your function stack is really set up for driving. In my opinion, I mean, I did that for everything, and that can give you an edge on being able to control vehicle and things like that. This was kind of hard to say too, but I think they can be quite distracted. Around as well, by their own thoughts and things like that. Now, it is a little bit of a hit or miss with INTPs because I think they could be really good at fixing cars. I know ISTP, that kind of stereotype being able to fix cars. ISTPs also look pretty good at fixing cars too. Maybe they will be. I could put them B's here. Now that I think about it more. Because I think an extension of them being able to fix a car, I think it can help them to understand how to maneuver a car too. Even though it doesn't work quite as well as it would for like an ISTP, but I'm always trying to get my type before I talk about that. ISFJ. Now, ISFJ are actually pretty good drivers. Underrated. Also very underrated when you talk about driving. I honestly used to think that ISFJ made the best drivers. They're very responsible. And as far as driving, being a safe driver, that's like that thing, like the whole thing of taking on the duty of making sure they're keeping other people on the road safe as well as themselves, or if they have people in the car with them, keeping them safe, they will take it on. They kind of take it on that kind of thing. It isn't that of all of them being able to take on a role like that, they excel at. Like I said, you can make it really good. Like sports, I would say this is a little off topic, but sports even. I said they make a really good offensive line. If they had the size to be an offensive lineman, they make Carter the best offensive lineman because of their job is to protect a quarterback, But anyways, for that reason, I would say ISFJ goes S tier. I'm not a little surprised in some people because people don't tend to talk about that enough. But ISFP, a little bit. I would say they could be. Like when it comes to driving, it could like their move could affect how they drive probably a lot. I assume like I would say it could be similar to the ESFP, of course, as far as I won't say I've just seen ISFP drive really fast, but a lot of things will bleed over from ESFP. Like there's probably a lot of ISFPs that drive fast too. But I know for a fact that every ESFP I personally seen, they all drive fast. And they all drive a little bit reckless. Well, I won't say reckless, but it can look reckless a little bit, but actually not as reckless as it looks. But ISFP, similar category, but I will put them. Oops, I didn't even do that. What's going on? Okay, but I will put them. I will put them to be top to be. I think the top would be all kinds of the. But it was ISTJs. ISTJs pretty responsible drivers, level-headed drivers. They really like to take their time. They don't like to rush. But it was just, I'm not saying they drive slow. I don't think they will drive slow. But when it comes to most things, they really don't like to rush. They like to take their time doing things the right way. And through doing that, they can be very more positive with a lot of things they do because of that. But when it comes to driving, I think that can translate very well. That's how the mindset, because they won't be in a rush to do things while driving, so it'll cause not to be taking a lot of risks, unnecessary risk driving, which would be very helpful with the drive. Now, I'll say the Western. I'm going to say that. They definitely go Western. But anyway, my type. So my type, notoriously, a lot of people say we make the best drivers. Now, this is, I didn't necessarily think it would make the best drivers. I always kind of thought we would go maybe number 4, but honestly, when it comes to me personally, I actually didn't realize how good of a driver I was. Like, now I remember COVID, I couldn't really do much, so I was working. I did do a little bit of Amazon stuff during COVID when you couldn't really work anywhere but Amazon, and I always got a high drive score. I'm actually a pretty good driver. Every situation where I've had to, I was like one of the best drivers there, honestly, like as far as, because they used to test you on everything, how you turn, how you do everything, this and that, how you stop good. I got like the best driver there pretty much. But I'm personally a really good driver, personally. But ISTP, we're good at operating machinery and things like that, and also we understand how our car works a lot of times. So that can, as an extension, committee, so that we understand how to maneuver a car too. But a lot of people would say when we go number 1. And so I used to think until I started seeing it within myself, I say, yeah, we do well know. I used to think that ISFJ and ISFJ kind of would give us a run for our money, but yeah, we're number 1, honestly. Just being honest. I thought this was a good time to talk about in general. And I know sometimes it seems like I pick a lot of times that my time to be good at it. But I think I tend to like, I don't know, it's just a thing with me. I tend to focus on things I'm good at. And my type, we just tend to be good at a lot of things, honestly. But it's not really a lot of things my type isn't going to be good at, honestly, if we focus on it. That's just an ITP thing, kind of. But just to throw it out there, because I'm not trying to make it seem like, But anyways, thanks for watching. More lists on the way. Stay tuned.